Hey guys, Joe here. Welcome to another lesson. Thank you very much for joining me. Okay, in this week's lesson, I'm going to take a look on how to get started with finger picking. Okay, so I should start off by saying that finger picking is quite a broad term and kind of covers a lot of different styles, you know, ranging from the simple, let's say, like going to the likes of Okay, so that just gives you a vague idea of the different kinds of styles, you know, and there are many more which I didn't touch on. Now, obviously a lot of that stuff's quite intermediate, so this video is more designed for people who are looking to take their first steps with doing this kind of thing, okay? Because there's no point setting the bar too high, because that can set you back in a funny kind of way, okay? So this is very much designed for people who are just looking to kind of get started with this style of play. Okay, so let's move on. What does all of that stuff have in common? Well, generally speaking, what it is that there's a bass line happening and generally a top end, so some kind of little melody underneath that bass line. And that's what we're aiming to do. And we're looking for ways to develop our right hand, because that is where the majority of all that stuff comes from, about having a strong right hand, you know, and working on moving your fingers in all kinds of different combinations. That's absolutely vital, yeah? And start trying to separate the thumb from the fingers, because the thumb generally will play the bass line, and obviously, you know, the fingers will play the top end, as it were. So if all you've done till this point is use a plectrum, then maybe now's a good time to start adding another dimension to your playing by using your fingers, all right? So if you haven't done that already, then a good way to get started and start taking your kind of baby steps, in a sense, is to think of let's think of open chords for now. So, you know, it doesn't really matter what the chord is. I mean, G is a good one because we don't have to think about, you know, alternating the bass on the left hand as well as the right, okay? So let's just take a G, and what we're looking to do is just, even with open chords, just be playing an alternating bass. So the 6th to the 4th without anything initially, just going between those two, yeah? And then once you're comfortable with that, you can use these 3 fingers to kind of rest them on the bottom 3 and just okay, so you're looking to get something even and smooth. And I know that that's simple. So that's a kind of first step, and then changing chords to the, you know, it doesn't really matter. You can just do it randomly, even if they're not in the same key and stuff. It doesn't really matter. It makes you think about what the bass notes are. So for a C, for example, you can play the 5th and then move it up to the 6th. And you need to experiment. Whereas, as I say, with a G, you're just holding the chord without having to worry about moving. Also with a D. Doesn't have to be chords in that are all in the same key. Just switch it about, you know, just experiment. There's an A chord. So that's a very, very good thing to get started with, yeah? Because if you haven't already done that, then you're going to kind of perhaps struggle to start adding some top end to that, as it were. Now, it can be a very tricky barrier to break this, where you're trying to play a melody and a top line as well, okay? This is something I really wanted to do, as I've already mentioned. And it wasn't until I found something simple enough for me to kind of break through that. And the actual song was, or I mean, it only amounted to a few chords, went like this. And I'll play you a section, and then I'll talk you through, you know, how you can have a go at this one, because this was a breakthrough for me, just to be able to play this. And it's very, very simple, and it's just... Okay, so let's take a look at that in a little bit more detail. All right, we have a G chord, and when we're playing this kind of fingerpick style, I find it's quite useful to play a G chord like so. So traditionally, I guess it might be more like that, leading with this first finger. But I play it like that because it frees up this finger to play top end. Can kind of do that type of thing, all right? So it gives you a little bit more freedom. Now, what we need to do is play the G and just concentrate on playing 6, 4, 6, 4, all right? Like so. Right, now then, what we're going to try and do is add the first string. Like so. So it corresponds to the 6th string at the same time you're playing 6 and 1. Now we take it off. Okay, so we got our steady bass, and we're starting to have a little bit of melody down below. On, off. Right, so now the only difference is we're plucking the 3rd string. All right, so we have. Yeah? So let's try that together. Just the bass first. And let's get ready to add that top note. After 4, 2, 3, 4, and. All right, then we add the pinky to the 3rd string, 3rd fret, and play. Now the bass has stayed the same, it's just 6 and 4, okay? And all we're doing is we're playing 3, 2, 3, 2, and then off with the pinky. Yeah, so it's. So, hope that's clear for you. As I say, we're not doing anything different on the bass. We're just adding that 3rd string, 3rd fret, and we're playing 3, 2, 3, 2, and then off. Then back on, and we slide the whole thing back. 6, 4, that's all I'm doing in the bass. Then we play 1 and 4, 2 and 6, 3, and slide back. So we have so off with the pinky when we slide back. Yeah? So one more time. Start with me on the bass. And down with the pinky when we're ready now. Off. Slide it all back. 1 and 4, 2 and 6, 3, off with the pinky and slide, 1 and 3. So we just have the so that's just 6 and 1 on the 3rd fret, and then it goes up to the 2nd string 3rd fret, Okay, so I hope that was of some help to you, and you can you've got something there to practice now and move on and try and kind of get to grips with some of those concepts, yeah? As ever, if you find the lessons useful, perhaps you could click on the like or the subscribe, and if you do any of the social media thing, Twitter, Facebook and that kind of thing, then please share these links far and wide. If anybody should wish to make a donation, that helps me tremendously keep going with this channel essentially. So I'll pop a link down below for anybody who would like to do that. And as ever guys, thanks ever so much for joining me for these lessons. Your feedback is very, very important to me. It kind of determines where I go next with these lessons. So keep those comments coming. It's always great to hear from you. I'll always do my very best to get back to you, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.